Hello everyone, welcome to TechSpark. My name is Anush Kumar, Java trainer, having a 5+ years of experience. This is Advanced Java 7 session 713. So in today's session, we will talk about what is a JSP page, what is a JSTL tag, and today we will basically develop a employee management app. Okay, so there we will basically use the GSP page, and okay, so that's why I am basically first I will define what are the GSP page. Okay, how basically data is rendered into GSP, all the thing, and then we will move to our project. Okay, today we will create employee management application. Okay, where we will do login logout. Okay, with the help of the session. Okay, and then afterward we will create the CRUD or login with the required username. If the username and password is valid, then it's successful. If not valid, then invalid message we will return. Okay, and then afterward we'll do perform a CRUD operation related to the employee table. Okay, and here basically we will create the two table. One table basically store the user credential, that is a name, username and password, and other will be all the other information related to employee will be stored there. Okay. So now first understand what is a JSP page. So what is a JSP? JSP stands for Jakarta Server Language, yeah, Java Server Language, both. Earlier it was known as Jakarta Server Language, now it is known as a Java Server Language. Okay. JSP it collect basically JSP is a server-side technology used to create a dynamic platform independent web application. Okay, it allows the embedding of the Java code into a HTML page. Basically, what means HTML is a language for creating a web page. Okay, and JSP is just like in a servlet. It is a basically help us to write a page with 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 the including HTML, where we basically displays the all our data. Okay, with the help of JSP page. Okay, so JSP page is a collection of technology that help us a software developer to create a dynamically generated web pages. Okay, with the help of the page will be basically include the HTML, XML, and SOAP and other document type. Okay, this thing is basically included. So JSP basically was released in 1991 by Sun Microsoft. Okay, so characteristic of JSP is basically JSP is an extended version of servlet technology. Okay, JSP technology is similar to the servlet application programming interface. It provides some additional features such as expression language, custom type. Okay, which we basically use inside our page to get the data. A JSP file is much easier to deploy. Okay, advantage of JSP is it have the it first the JSP is extension of the servlet. Okay, then easy to maintain, fast development, less code than the servlet. Okay, this is the advantage. And what is the disadvantage of JSP? The disadvantage of JSP is it is difficult to debug or trace the error because JSP page is first translated into the servlet before before compilation process. Okay, so this disadvantage you can tell in interview, or interview asks you if something what is the disadvantage, so you can tell this. Okay, then database connectivity is not easy in JSP. Okay, JSP page required more disk space. Okay, and JSP page basically need more time. Okay, so these are the characteristics, and these are more few characteristics, mm, like simplified development. Okay, then reusability, atomic complication, session management, tag-based coding, platform independent. Okay, now types of JSP tags. So basically, we have different types of JSP tag which we basically use to get the data, load the page. Okay, so we have like here directive type. This directive type greater than modulus ampersand directive tag. Basically, this directive type is used for page directive. Means you want to import some page, so you can import with the help of directive type. Okay, you want to include a you want to include some file, import something, then you can use a directive tag basically. Okay. Then we have a declarative tag here. So declarative tag is basically used to like if you have like a declares the variables or method in the class tag. You want to declare like create a variable and method, then you can use declarative tag. Okay. Use for access specifier, use for method calling. Okay, method in it. Limitation is it cannot use implicit object. Okay, you cannot use implicit object inside declarative. Implicit object basically means like out request response session, this request response session, these are the implicit of the object. Then we have scriptlet tag. So this is the basic the structure. This structure we have to follow for using the JSP page. Okay. So scriptlet tag basically used to write like switch statement, if and for condition, int x variable, set attribute, get attribute for setting a data, getting a data. Okay. We will use scriptlet tag. Okay. Then we have mm, eh, expression tag also. So what happen in expression tag are used to print the output on the web page. Okay, whatever we output we print in our page, we print with the help of expression tag. So this is the basic syntax of expression tag. Okay, it in expression tag never terminate the expression with a semicolon, a colon. Okay, only statement is allowed. Only one statement will be allowed for expression tag. Similarly, we have the accent tag, then custom tag, then JSTL tag. JSTL is advanced, which have, so this is the thing. So now coming to, we have some advanced feature like JSTL. So JSTL basically, let me talk more about JSTL. So JSTL is a Java server page standard tag library. It has set up predefined custom tag it provided by the Java to specify the JSP development. Okay, it has some free custom tag which we can use, like we use for each, for loop. Okay, that thing are basically present here. So instead of writing Java code directly in JSP page, JSTL provides a tag based upon the approach, like common like iteration. It have tag for iteration, it have tag for conditional logic, it have, okay, working with XML. Okay, SQL operation. JSTL promote clear and more maintainable code by replacing the Java scriptlet with declarative XML like tag. Okay, to use JSTL basically we have to write this line, that is a tag line, prefix equal to C, URL, javasum.com. We this line we have to basically import in our JSP page to use the JSTL. Okay, in every JSP page. This is the one tagline. Okay. So JSTL, which is stand for Java Server Page Standard Tag Library, is a collection of custom JSP tag library that provide common web development functionality. Like we can use in we can use previously we are doing out.println to print the thing. Here in JSTL we can use C colon out value and then we can print. Okay, the JSTL help to write the Java code in the form of the tags. Okay, it should make our development much easier. Okay, that is the example of a JSTL. So these are the different types of tag which we basically use. C dollar out to display the something. C set to set a variable. If statement, choose, for each loop we can use, for token, remove. So these are the tags we can basically use. Okay, for using JSTL, first we have to um, import this tagline in JSP page. Then after we can use this. Okay. Nowadays in advanced version JSTL also do not support it. Okay. Earlier all the version it was supported. Nowadays it is making very difficult. It is giving us many errors. Okay. So people are avoiding using JSP, JSTL and all. Some people use. Okay. If you are not using JSP, JSTL, there are other page also you can use. You can use direct HTML. And to display data inside a HTML page, you will basically use JavaScript, okay, to display data according to your need, okay. Then you can also use a theme sleeve that is also like a JSP page which display the data, okay, in Java programming language, okay. So let's move to our, now we will start creating now here. We will develop a employee management application. Okay. So go to file, go to new, create a new Spring Starter project, go to Spring Starter project. Okay. Now give the name. I will give the name as EMPLO by employee. This is employee management app. Okay. Maven 17, jar, Java. It is okay. And package name is TMP. Same here I have to write package dot emp. Group name form dot example dot emp and the package name should be same. Then your project name and artifact name should be same. Artifact name you uniquely identified your project. Then next, then I will basically use MySQL driver for MySQL connection. Okay. Spring Web for we are creating a web application where we create a REST API. Then we will use Hibernate, that is Spring Data JPA. Okay. Then Spring Boot Dev tool for auto reload. So we are here basically using Spring Boot Dev tool for auto reload, Spring Data JPA for Hibernate, MySQL driver for database connection, that is MySQL, and Spring Web for using we are creating web application. And just you can select this is from here you can select the version also. Currently this version, the lowest version, finish, because this versioning in Java basically create too much problem. Okay, you are working on some version, this version, okay, and you are imported something which basically is not compatible with your current Java version. It will not work. Okay, so that is a very hectic and very old problem in Java which is not yet resolved. Just finish, then wait for the few minutes. Our project will be basically download the all the dependencies. It will take 2 to 3 minutes. So all the dependencies has been downloaded. Let me this now. That is employee management app. Okay. So now we can see the all the things has been downloaded here. That is the src.main.java. Here we will basically create the all the package. This is our main class. Okay. This is basically will run our entire application. Then go to this package, create a few all different packages which basically need here. Go new, go to package. First package is controller, CONTR controller package. Then I will create after controller entity package where we will create a entity class entity package entity class. Then create a what? After entity you will create a service layer. Go to package dot SCRVI service layer where we will create all the method. Then service layer, after service layer you what you will create? You will create one repository layer where you will create a repository class dot repository. Okay. After doing this, we have to we have included MySQL driver. So in application dot property, we have to first thing you have to do is to go to your src main dot resource here. src main dot resource. Go to application dot property. Okay, here we have to mention the properties like sprin spring dot data source dot url spring dot data source dot url equal to uh, also always remember the spelling and everything should be right. Spring is okay, data d8 d8 source yes urc url okay. In our is what is we will write jdbc colon mysql colon double back slash then localhost colon port number 3306 of the database that is MySQL, and we will use the uh, this is a demo 3 table. Inside table we have which type of table? Location student. So I will use demo 3 database. So demo 3. Okay. Then you can use Spring SPRIN Spring dot data source dot user name Spring dot data source dot username is root Spring data source dot password equal to then write the password. You have to write your own database password, not my database password. Okay. So Spring dot data source dot username equal to root. Good. Spring dot data source dot password equal to this. Okay. Now for using a Hibernate, we have to write one line that is a Spring dot jpa dot Hibernate dot ddl dash auto update. Update will update your table every time. Okay. Then here we are basically used a what which page you can use html page, you can use jsp page, you can use theme sleeve. Okay, or you can use a JavaScript, HTML plus JavaScript. Okay, so these are the different types of ways where you can display your data in types of small type of front end page. Okay, you can create a page. So here currently we are using a JSP page. Inside JSP we basically also include HTML. Okay, right, creating the form, tag, header, everything, displaying the data. Okay, if you purely use HTML, then you will use JavaScript for displaying the data. Nowadays, JSP is nobody use. They totally use either HTML or JavaScript or purely JavaScript. Okay. So now we will, we have to first create, go to your SRC here, a main. Inside this main, you have to create a web app folder, create a web app folder, web app folder. Okay. This is a standard structure way of uh, where we will basically create the JSP file. Then inside the web app, you will create a web INF folder that is a in capital letter web dash INF folder, web INF folder. Okay. So this thing you have to make sure that everything, every folder and everything will be correct format. Otherwise, basically when we are running the pages, they are not working. Okay. Then we have to uh, then inside the web INF folder, we will create a folder. You can write view or JSP page. So I am writing view page, views page. Okay, not capital. This will be small VIEWS views. Okay. So this is the structure like we have a SRC main, then web app, then inside web app you have a web INF that is in capital letter. Then we have the views folder, and inside the views folder you will basically going to create the JSP page. Okay, in application or property we have to write the properties which will basically prefix and suffix which help us to render or make a connection with our JSP page. This should be also be a, in correct format, otherwise it will not work. JSP page will really not work. Okay, spring dot mvc dot view dot prefix, spring mvc dot view. Okay, view dot prefix, first one. So this is prefix. Inside prefix, write wave dash inf. Then we have views, views. Okay, and then suffix in. Then I will write spring dot mvc dot view dot suffix. Inside suffix we have dot .jsp page. Dot .jsp page. The page is the dot .jsp. So this is the, you have to write prefix the first what it will come, the first this come, and suffix the dot .jsp. This thing you have to mention, otherwise it will basically not work. Okay, the page will not render, a page will not display. Okay. Then after doing this, for you have to do one more thing. Uh, Go to your Google, write Maven library or repository, Maven repository. Then you have to go to Maven repository. You have to basically import the dependencies of the JSP page, and okay, and Tomcat embedded Jasper for running the JSP page, okay, or JSTL page, okay. So we will basically write uh, Tomcat EMB embedded, sorry, JS Jasper, okay. Tomcat embedded Jasper. This you can see now. Tomcat embedded Jasper. This thing we have to search basically. Enter the first one. Tomcat embedded Jasper. Click on this and click on the any. These are different types of version. Click on the any version. I am clicking on the any version. Click here. After clicking this, you will come down here. This thing you are saying. This thing or oh, Tomcat embedded Jasper. This thing you are saying, you have to copy this, copy, and you have to paste in your form.xml file. So here you have a form.xml file. Go to form.xml file, and here in dependencies tab, paste the Tomcat embedded Jasper. This will help you to run your JSP, JSTL files. Okay. Tomcat embedded Jasper. Okay. Then you can also have to add the JSTL. Now I will go to again level, go back. Here we have to search JSTL, JSTL, JSTL. For when you use JSTL, you need this dependencies to be added. This basically dependencies do not present in your Spring Boot Maven. It is present in Maven repository. From here, so we are go to this file, second one. It's not this. Back, go to the click here. After clicking this, click on the any version, 1.2 version. Okay, after clicking this, go to the this copy and go back to your pom.xml file. Okay. अरे भैया चल गया। हाँ, and in add the dependency here. Okay, just add the dependency here. Tab, tab. Okay. So what we have added? We have added it. This is a Jasper Tomcat Jasper file. Then we have added the JSP JSTL tag, that is version 1.2 JSTL. Okay. Then you can also what you can remove this version if you want. Okay. Save, close. Okay. So now you are good to implement a JSP, JSTL tag. Okay. Now we have done this all. Now what? Huh. Go to basically I will create the two entity class. Okay. The first entity in class is employee and second entity class is user account. Okay. So go to the repository, create a new class. That is a class. First class name is employee. EMPLOY employee, then enter. Okay, this is a employee. Now hmm, for creating an you will have to write entity annotation ENTIT entity annotation. This will tell that this class is an entity class to our Spring Boot. Okay, बड़ा ही स्लो चल रहा है, अटक गया। Wait for a few minutes. It will basically start running. Okay, now it is started running. Entity import. Oh, now I will create some variables like I want ID, private in ID, then I want name, private string name, then I want department, private string, D, E, P, D, okay, D, E, P, department, then I want what? Email, string. These are the field we will basically generate. Now the ID should be a unique and primary key. For that, we will basically add the rate ID for creating a primary key, and for auto generating, we will what we will do generated value for auto generation. GENERATE generated value bracket strategy STRATEG strategy equal to generation type dot identity type dot IDE. This is basically what it is doing. At the rate ID for primary key, import this at the rate ID, then generated value for auto generating the value. The value should be V should be capital. Okay. Now you have to import this and import this from here. Okay. Now what next we will what generate getter setup. So come here and we go to resource. After resource, go to a generate getter setter, select all, and after selecting all, generate. So getter setter has been generated. This is an employee class. Say similarly, we will create one more. class. It is a user account where the credential, username, and password we basically going to create, and we will write user account USERACCOUNT enter. Okay. Inside user account, first thing, add the rate entity to mentioning that this is an entity class, and create the required object table inside your what database. Then we will create the three field here. That is a uh, PRIVAT private long ID. Oh, oh. You are an employee also. I will basically what to it will I will create long ID. Long. Okay. Now I will create the go to setter getter. Select all generate. Long will basically take longer value. It will basically have some minus 127 to plus 127. It is limited. That's all. So now long value, and then after long value, I will what? I will write private username. Private username. Then private. The key should be small here. Private string password. Private string user name. Private string password. Okay. Key and auto generated. For that we will basically use at the rate ID for primary key, and at the rate generated value GENERAT generated TED value, then bracket and STR strategy equal to generation type of identity. So type dot identity. So this is basically what. Then after that you will import on the uh, change to generated value this one. Okay. STRAT strategy, and ID should be import ID. From here, import ID. Okay. Now I will what generate getter setter. Go to resources and go to generate getter setter. Select all and generate. So we have created two table, employee table and user account table. Okay. Close this one. Close this one. After creating the table, what you want? After creating a table, we have to create a repository. Go to your repository. Repository should be interface. So I first employ repository to write EMPLO by WREPOSI employee repository that will add matlab extend JPA REPOSIT JPA repository. This one. And okay, finished. Okay. Now we have to pass here a table name, that is the employee EMPLOYEE, and I int type of ID is long. Then import employee. Yeah, just नखरे कर रहा है employee. Okay. ठीक है. One more thing. If you want to create a custom language, like you want to find by ID, name or this and that, you can create here a custom method also. Okay. Yeah. like emp employee find by name or string name. In this way, you can create a custom method which are basically not present inside the JPA. Okay, this way. I will remove this one. I will create one custom method basically that is a find user by uh, name and password. Okay, so this is one repository. Now second repository. Sorry. In repository basically it is not necessary to write annotation at the rate repository here. If you want to write. If you will not write, it will by default work as a repository layer only. Okay, here. Then I will create a one repository for a user account. So interface. Then create a user account repository USP. Double zero account. That will extend. Go to add JPA repository. This JPA repository. This and finish. So this way we have created this user account repository for user account table. So write user a double zero UNT account table and data type of ID is basically long and import user account from your package. Okay. Now here we will get a custom method because in JPA we have save method for saving the data, find by ID, okay, delete by ID, delete, find all, find, okay. So so for custom they do not have find by name, they do not have find by email. Okay, now I will want to log in with the help of username and password. So I will basically create a one method which will basically uh, what it will do this method this method basically find by username and password. This method basically check the user credential from the database and what you enter in your page. If both are matching, okay, then valid credential it will log in. If they are not matching, they will vote invalid credential. So I will create uh, like find by user name and what we want. I want to find by username user name then and by password password. Make sure that the method which you are creating is understand by the name of the method, like find by username. I want username and password. Then we have to provide the parameter like string user name comma string password. String username and password, then control to one. अरे यार हट जा. Is not coming. No, if it will not come, we will write manually. If it will come, then we will let's check one more time. Control plus one not coming. So what I will do, basically, we are getting the data. So we have to check it is null or not. For checking the data, it is null or not. What we are using Java 8 advanced feature that is a optional classes. So write option optional, basically the class which check the data is null or not. And from where? From our user account table. From our user account table, and this should be import optional. But I slow laptop भाई. So this one. So this is the method optional table is user account. find by username and password. Then we have to pass the parameter string and is is- username is string, password is string. Okay, semicolon. This is basically called a custom query. Okay, this we have created. Save. Okay, the two repository we have created. Okay, now after creating the repository and first part, create a method first in service layer. Create the method. Okay, now we will create in service layer. Basically we are creating the method. We implement those method in our controller layer. Okay, by calling the method. Okay, now in this here service layer we will basically use the oops concept with inheritance. First we will inherit the property of parent class to child class. Then we polymorphism overriding. In polymorphism we do overriding, so we implement overriding where we will change the logic of method, parent method in a child class. Okay, so let's go to a new here to n. And first is the interface. We have to create interface and write the name uh, auth service, auth service. Finish. Now auth service has been created. Inside the auth service we will basically create a method, login method. Login will be either true or false. That is boolean login, where we will basically part string username password, or here we will use http session, because with the help of session we check it. Okay, in previous classes I have told you what is a session, what is the use of the session. Thus, with the help of session we are checking the valid invalid user, so that's why we are using here http sessions or sessions. So boolean login string user name first parameter, then string, then password second parameter, then http sessions, s e double s yeah, and then session s e double s I o. Okay, and then import http session. Oh, this is one method we have created inside a service layer. Okay, this is the interface. Inside interface we have created one incomplete method. Okay, interface incomplete method. Oops. Then uh, then we will do second method, that is a logout method. Logout basically will not return anything. Is this okay? Because logout means logout, nothing to return. Then the logout method should be void log out. Then yes, with the help of HTTP session dot destroy, we will basically log out the HTTP session. Then session this one. Oh, here should be a session S capital. Okay. This two method we have created. String username, string password. This has to be this. And now we will create a mat class implementing this interface. Class name should be auth service. I am real auth SERV service. I am real. This will basically add what we have auth implement auth service or service. We will basically inherit the properties. Okay. Okay. Now we have basically what we have used inheritance. The parent class to child class. What we are inheriting the method of parent inheriting. the parent child. Then we are use what we are doing in polymorphism. We are what we are implementing overriding. So we are overriding the method which are basically present in parent class. We basically overriding in the child class. Okay. Now this is a service layer. Okay. Inside service layer, we have to what we have to create the object of the repository layer so that we it is connected to repository layer, and we can take the data from the database with the repository. Then it go to service. Then after service, it go to the controller layer. This is the flow. So here the object or repository object we are creating with the help of auto wire, which are used for dependency injection. Compile will automatically create the bean for required object. Okay, this is the definition. In this way, you can explain to the your interviewer auto wired. Okay, then private uh, user account. This one is the user account. A user a double C O account REPOSITE user account double oh, then import this user account, import AutoWire. Okay, so I've imported the user. Okay. Now, now what we have to write the logic. Okay. So Boolean return false here. I will what? I will call the method which we have just created, find by username, find by username and password. Okay. So our object is user a double C O U account report dot find keyboard. My keyboard is not working. Hmm? There we go. अभी बताओ. Find by this one. Find by username and password we have just created. Here that we will pass the username and pass the password. Okay. It's okay. Fine. This line is fine. Okay. Close this column. Then what? Control plus one assign statement to no local variable. So basically, it is optional class will check. Okay, the same thing which we have created. Okay, the same way. No need to. Then after we will if we will use if condition. If the user is present, then session dot set attribute user equal to user dot get and return, and otherwise return false. Okay, then we will use if condition. If user basically I will change this. This is very long. This I will change to a user. Object is user. Okay, that is object. Object is present. Object is present. This one means username and password is basically present. है. Then what if object username and password is present? Then session dot set and was user equal to user dot get and true session dot set attribute. What here I will pass user equal to user dot get for getting the value. User dot get for getting the value. Okay, and return true. Return true because return RETU return true because it is present. If not present, then this false, and then false, then invalid. Okay. Then second is logout. For logout, basically, we what we will do session dot with the session dot destroy or session dot invalid. So we will basically what session dot in first one, session dot invalid, simple. Session dot invalid for logout. These are the two methods, okay, which we have just created. Now we will create a controller layer. Inside the controller layer, we will write the logic. So controller layer, go create the class. This is a auth controller for authentication. Enter. Okay, close this one. Close this one. I will create a REST controller. The REST controller basically send the data in the JSON format. That JSON is basically we can use in Postman and JavaScript for rendering the data. But in your JSP, HTML, you will basically use not get and post only. Okay, you cannot use the put and delete. Okay, when you are using HTTP HTML page, so HTML page basically is take the strings values UTF-8 and all these things. For that, you will basically send the data or get the data with the help of get and post only. They will not run when you use delete or put HTTP method. Okay, so here we basically use create a REST controller. REST controller. Okay, then we will write a request mapping. Basically request mapping annotation will be mark all the method, and with the help of mapping annotation we can call the all the method. Okay, so that is why we are using request request mapping. This request mapping annotation which we basically provided will help us to call the all the method present inside our controller layer. Okay, it will be common. This is a auth. Okay, now import and import. Okay, two things we have imported. Now we have to create an object of the controller layer. Basically, will take the data from the service layer. Service layer take the data from repository, and repository take the data from database. So here we have to create the object of the service layer. So at the rate auto wired. Okay, then create private auth. What is the name? Auth service. Okay, the name is auth service. And I have not mentioned here at the rate service. At the rate service. Service. So every time you remember in the service IMPL, that is all service IM, whatever, you will create one parent class that is service and service IMPL. So in service IMPL, mention at the rate service always. Okay, so that it can the Spring Boot can understand this is a service class and we have to implement it. Okay, that is all service. You create service. This is the object. Import, import. So after importing what we have to create the method for login and logout. Okay, for login and logout, we have to create method. So method we login post login to the post, mapping For sending a data, we basically use the post, okay, where we will pass the credential. Okay, that's why we are using post login, login. Okay, then we can create the method public response TI. Response entity basically we are using for request response, create your custom response and display in your web page. Okay, previous classes I have told. So response should be of type string. Okay, then method name is login. Okay, then mm, import response entity, import response entity. Post mapping we have to import post mapping. Okay, now login we are use parameters, one parameter. So for that we use request param, REQUEST, request param, string user name, comma, then username, then password at the rate REQUEST param, string PASSWORD password. String, the S should be capital. Request param we have put on one more thing after request param, the HTTP session where here and HTTP session 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 import request param, import HTTP change spelling mistake, change to HTTP session. Okay. After that, we have to do a return for removing the errors. Now we will basically write the logic here. So what the logic is, our service name is uh, auth, auth service, auth service dot login serve auth service dot login. Okay, login username password session. Oh, very good. It is working. Then control one assign to local variable, that is boolean. See, then I want to return response. We have used a response entity. Now you can create your custom response. Okay, with here. So how you can create a custom response? I am showing you this here. Now return after login. We will return success. SUCCE success. Okay, success question mark. RESPOS entity INT response interview dot okay for a success. If everything is okay, then we will return okay. Then inside okay we can pass the sorry, inside okay we can pass the message that login successful. Login SUCCE list login successful. Then this is the thing. And and colon enter. After that, you have a response status and response body also. So for response status and body, RESP, okay, response entity dot status, HTTP status code means what we want. What you want to so the status was like 200 for success and 400 for unauthorized and this and that. Second case, if it is not success, then I want the HTTP status equal to unauthorized. HTTP STATU dot unauthorized. Okay, this one unauthorized. This is for success. This is colon separated, and this is for unsuccess message. Okay, and yeah, success is SU double C is double S SU double C is double S. Mm, oh, so change. Object name is success. Okay. Now body. Now after status code, what status code you want body? What you want to represent in body? I want to represent body. After is unauthorized, invalid body. What message you will display? Invalid credential. Okay. This is okay. So this is the okay. Let me make it bigger. Double tap. Okay. Now you can see the whole code this way for responsibility. Post for we are basically posting the data. Now log out. Same log out at the rate post mapping because same the data will be sent in the form sending for sending a data we will use post. Okay. Post m a double double ing dot mapping. And here I want to log out, log out. Okay, public RESPO response entity private string. Okay, the method name will be a logout. Method name is logout. Okay, and this method here also logout with the help of HTTP session, and an object name is session. HTTP session yes capital yes HTTP is the double SION session, not sessions session. Okay, it is okay. Now what we have made a logout method. So auth service. We are calling our logout method service dot or service dot log out. Okay, here we have pass session and enter. Then after return statement, what? Uh, Return statement, return REPU or return RESPON response entity, identity dot I want okay. If you want it log out, so it is okay, log out successfully. So log out successfully. This message we will display with the help of response entity. Okay. So this thing we have done. Okay. For login log. Okay, for login log out.